Went live before 9:01, so I am on time. Probably somebody in chat saying that I'm late. How's everyone doing tonight? Mute my stream. Got the chat ready. Thanksgiving in 3 hours. It might already be Thanksgiving depending on where you are in the world, I guess. Hope everyone has a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm here for the next hour and a half maybe. We'll see how it goes. To talk whatever you guys want to talk. Q&A as always. I have a little self-promo plug that I'm going to do regarding the eBay Vault consignment service that I have, and then an ongoing promotion within my own eBay and the eBay Vault consignments. I had a lot of consigners, very positive feedback. A lot of people opted in. But yeah, I actually reached out. I did a mass email to all my consigners, and I said, hey, my Vault consignment fee is 5%. I'm going to waive that fee if you want to opt into my Black Friday sale. This is not a promotion that I'm getting from eBay. This is not subsidized in any way externally by eBay. I'm just selling for zero fee for anyone who had their cards already in that wanted to opt into either the 10% or 25% discount level. So I think my entire store, my own personal stuff, some Ultra Modern Sealed. I shipped a full SUV load of Ultra Modern Sealed today that I didn't want to go in and individually adjust prices up before I made the sale. I knew a lot of stuff was going to sell at a slight loss, but when you have 2,000 something items in your eBay store, to try and prevent a couple items from selling at a slight loss, like it's just not worthwhile. So I was selling Mew UPCs, I had some Paradox Rift, I had some stuff sell for pretty good prices the last couple days, and it's great. I mean, it's moving stuff out before the holiday. I really need to continue streamlining everything on my end. And one thing that I've not done a lot of, I've not fully streamlined my processes towards packaging Ultra Modern Sealed. I used to be spoiled with Troll and Toad Evo, so they were handling all that. Stocking all the correct box sizes, knowing when someone buys a case of ETBs, how do I pack and ship it? What's the weight and dimensions? Because I don't know about anyone else, but one thing I never do, I never put stuff on the scale like every single time. I just know what the weights of a lot of things are. I mean, 90+% of what I sell is a single graded slab. So 2 ounces, easy. Anything under 4 ounces, you're paying the same price anyways for your USPS ground advantage. But yeah, learning one Mew UPC, what's the dimensions, what's the weight, what's the proper box size. Now when I go to 2, when I go to 4, certain things going over the 50-pound threshold where you're paying a big upcharge, depending if it's New York or California. Like, you don't need to learn all of it, but the more you can learn just second nature and not have to go put something on the scale, not have to measure something with it, whatever it may be, having those standardized processes and packaging materials is something I was lacking. But this last day or two, selling all these things in configurations I've never sold before, it was helpful. So I will quickly show my eBay, and then once I show my eBay, I will go to the chat. Feel free. I see a couple questions popping in. I will get to those as I always do. I think I have the highlight set up. Yep. Hi, Ponga. Ponga first in chat. I'm sure he sent that several hours ago when it was scheduled. Yeah, 4:54 p.m. Appreciate you, Ponga. Always working that algorithm. Speaking about the algorithm, hit that like button while you're hanging out, waiting for me to show off some eBay stuff and get to the Q&A. Get this pushed out to more people. But yeah, somewhere I have this tab ready. Almost every consigner, and I put right in the email, no pressure, no pressure whatsoever. People did not have to opt into this. It was their, if they desired to, they could, and most did. When I offered a 10% discount level where I'm waiving my 5% fee, they're able to sell their item for 10% cheaper, which obviously has a decent chance of selling if it's priced relatively well to begin with. And that's coming at only a 5% cost to them. So if they had the item listed for $1,000, normally I would take $50 and they would net $950 upon sale. We're doing a 10% sale from $1,000. It's now listed at 900. They're netting the full 900 that it sells for. So yeah, just again, it's not something that someone can action who's not already been into the vault. But given how well, one, the sales uptick is going, two, how well it was received by the consigners, I think that's something I'm going to try to do. If not quarterly, at least twice a year. I mean, I did do something over the summer tied in with the eBay summer sale. That one was part subsidized by eBay, part subsidized by me. So there will be times periodically throughout the year where eBay is subsidizing something for me, and I work the consigners items in on that. But this one was just me. This one I felt like Cyber Monday, Black Friday, it just something had to happen for it. So yeah, let me I'm just sorted high to low. I'm not gonna go through my whole eBay store, but down below some of the information if you're curious on how to get your cards in on consignment. Most when you sort my store high to low, many I don't know if I'd say most, many of the items are consignor items. I have some great items passed through my hands. Very thankful to have that opportunity. Let me slide over so you can see the price in the left column. Maybe I should just resize slightly. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, you've got my Pikachu trophy slashed 25% off. If anyone wants that number 3 Pikachu PSA 9 trophy, it can be yours for $97,500 today. One thing that I'm going to do with my own items, and some amount of consigners might do it as well, after doing a week or two of, because this sale I have running through December 1st. So it's like a little over a week-long sale, not quite 2 weeks. Anything that doesn't sell that I slash the price 25%, I'm probably going to lower the price. I don't know if I'll go the full 25%, but I'll probably go 15 to 20% off as just the new baseline price. I know I have some consigners, hey, do my item as a sale for 10%. Once the sale ends, maybe knock 5% off it, maybe knock the full 10% off. A lot of repricing will go on. That's one thing about consignments, that it's a bit more tedious with the buy it nows versus an auction. An auction is kind of like forced liquidity, whereas you need to be more active with a buy it now if it's not selling quickly. But yeah, some Art Academies, some high-end stuff, Champion Stamp 2014. We got some very nice Dragon Ball Z Score playtest cards. We got some very nice Unlimited Magic Power. CGC, we got a Natawake Pikachu, Mysterious Pearl. We got a base first Charizard. Little decent variety. We got some Mezu sample packs. Those ones are probably, even 25% off, those ones are probably due for a reprice to begin with. This Lamar Jackson is actually a consignment card. I reached out to the eBay vault. I shout out ZNG Emporium. He actually texted me. He's like, hey, one of your eBay vault items doesn't have photos up. So photos are glitched there. I can't fix it on my end because the vault is like a lockdown listing and they need to do it from their end. So hopefully they'll get that fixed soon. Got a nice serialized Mezu card there. We got some Top Sun blue back cards. Got a black label Umbreon V. Not the VMAX, not the Moonbreon, but we do have a black label Umbreon, which you love to see, the color match. Black on black. We got some black label Eevee Nagabas. We'll see if those end up selling. Some more Unlimited Power. We got some nice signatures in there. Sketch signature Red Cheeks Pikachu with the Red Cheek signature. Screen promos. We got a lot of PSA 10 Team Rocket Returns cards. Reverse hollows, full hollows. The gold stars have mostly sold at this point. We got the Pikachu Japanese exclusive promos. Pretty solid stuff in here. Feel free to check my affiliate link below if anyone's interested in any of this. That's my nice little plug at the front end for my consignment service. Reach out, Instagram, DM, Discord, DM, email, however you want to reach me if you want to have your card sold on your behalf through my consignment service in the eBay vault. 5%, $25 minimum. The minimum value for the card does have to be $250. So not everything is eligible. We can't be selling PSA 9 Celebrations Charizards. Actually, we can't even be selling PSA 10 Celebrations Charizards either because those have dipped below. Even when I started doing those were not quite $250. Though I have sold some for $250. Overall, they're not really $250. Just because you can sell with a promo doesn't mean that's what the price actually is. I'm getting my music set up. Okay, my music's set up. I'm going to go to the chat now. Appreciate everyone bearing with me. Got my live chat there, and I'll get my highlighted chat secondary. Okay. Terry Lake, I'm going to try and stay up late. See if we have Terry in the... I actually do... Oh, no, wait. I'm behind in chat. I was going to say I do see Terry in the chat, but that's still the one from earlier. So we'll see if Terry's actually here. Had a great episode, a great podcast the other night with Pokemon Wonder. One of my favorites for sure, instantly. We got Chef in here. We got Flip Flap. BGS is rude. Yeah, BGS was very rude to me on my recent submission. Very kind, very courteous, giving me a 20% black label rate on the first one. Same quality cards, then they hit me with the 2% black label rate. So it is what it is. Or 1% black label rate, sorry. 2 out of 200 was good for a nice 1% black label rate, which you don't love to see, but it happens. Part of the part of what goes on. Got friends burnt per BGS care with a heavy grading with them. More easy with Japanese cards. My one chat is completely frozen. Okay, it just updated now. I think I'm good. I think I have all the messages, hopefully. I just refreshed both. I hope I don't have... Okay, I was going to say, I hope I don't have my desktop audio on this whole time. I'm going to get my my stream shot down. Thankfully, I didn't. Let's see. Where are we? How's it going, Trow? Nice to see you. Tennis Wolf, Gengar's Den, Ponga, CJ Do Work. Got a nice crew in here tonight. We got Drew P, #1 mod in the game over on PK's channel. Self-promo, no one's shocked. Ponga says, thoughts on my Pokeflips episode having more views than the one right before? Did I not get paid enough? Maybe we can work you in on a revenue share if you want to share in that sweet, maybe $4, $5 that we made on that. It's not a super high paying job, but that's why I have to do the self promotion, Walrus. That's why I have to shout out the Vault service, because it's not paying the bills otherwise. Nice to see you, Chachibana. What else? Animation. Chaldean Fates looks awesome. What are your thoughts? I mentioned this I get these questions a lot, and it's not unsurprising to ask a Pokemon channel what are your thoughts on the new Pokemon set. I am one personally that does not really do spoilers. I try to avoid them as much as possible. I'm way too deep into Discord, Instagram, all that stuff. I constantly see them, but I don't seek them out. So like I don't read the PokeBeach articles. I don't watch any of the videos where people go over set lists or anything. So I like the idea of it. I feel like I heard that it's shiny Altar, it's shiny Vault type thing, 100+ cards. Shiny cards are cool, so I'm interested for it, but I don't really have any specifics. Brody Play says, hey Dan, what portion of your eBay sales go outside of America, and which countries are you sending to more often than others? Back in the spring, early summer, it was the whole Japanese boom. I was selling a lot to Japan, a little bit of China and stuff as well. I don't monitor it closely. Maybe 25%. I don't know if you're going by count, by volume, or by value. By value, it's probably 25%-ish. By volume, maybe it's 10%-ish. So disproportionately, the stuff that goes international oftentimes is like higher end. I think a large portion of that is just because you can't ship a $10 eBay standard envelope card and pay $20 shipping on it. I mean, you can, but it's less worthwhile. So disproportionately, you're just not going to sell a lot of sub $50 stuff because that $20 shipping fee or whatever they pay is a lot more painful at the slow things. Oh, God. Mr. Walrus Lake says, I bought a slab from you and it had one of your beard hairs. I planted and I'm watering frequently. I will have a Daniel seedling soon. That is very terrifying sounding. Have you ordered any Japanese shiny treasure boxes yet, or waiting for the $60 to $70 dip? My Japanese connections haven't hit me up. I'm not great with the releases, and I've been super busy lately. The whole school year that I've talked about, working nights and all that, but I've not bought any. I'm not necessarily waiting on a certain price. It's just it's not at the top of my to-do list. So if somebody hits me up and they're like, hey, we've got 200 boxes for you of this at this price, I probably would have already bought some by now. I might need to reach out to them after the this holiday week this crazy holiday week wraps up. Takibana says, I go back and forth between Tachibana and Takibana. I feel like Takibana is the one that I say the most, and I think that's the right one. But yeah, sorry. Let me know. Seeing as you favor doing tried and true graded flips like the famed Charizard, what do you think from the last few sets coming out or promos will be the next Evo Charizard for you? By Evo Charizard, I'm assuming you're meaning Celebration Charizard. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Dan, why are your acting skills so bad? Is that when I was doing the when were my acting skills bad? Was that when I was doing my my commercial or what? Maybe. How often do super high-end items sell? Few a month? I don't know. Depends on what your threshold is by super high-end. I did have a highest end I've ever sold card sell very, very recently, but greater than 10K sales, probably only a couple times a month. Going back to my eBay, I barely have any at the moment. I have had some north of 10K cards come through consignment, but man's bugging on these prices. The art academies are definitely priced high, reflecting my ability or lack of my ability to replicate, reproduce, obtain those cards again. So yeah, I price cards reflective of their ability to be reobtained and my future thoughts on them. Question, you don't have best offer enabled. Can I message you on All Slabs individual to see if your price is firm? Yeah, and when I say they're firm, be sure to send me another offer. Gotta shoot that shot, right? Ain't no one spending 35K on a CGC slab. I mean, I think many CGC slabs have sold for 35K. That one is tough, though. That one, the PSA premium is massive. That's a tough card to get sold for sure. Will cranberry sauce be on the table tomorrow? If so, is it canned or fresh? I don't know. It probably will be. I'm going to 3 different Thanksgivings tomorrow and then 1 on Friday. I'm bringing brisket. Speaking of brisket, let me check my my Pit Boss app. I have a brisket that I started at 1 p.m. today. I'm shooting for like, I mean, you always cook to temperature, not to time. But I'm running an 18-pound brisket. Very non-traditional Thanksgiving food, but I'm running an 18-pound brisket at 220 on the pellet smoker, hickory pellets. And yeah, this is where I'm at right now. Let me see. 230 degrees. I'm running it. Hopefully it'll be about 18, 20 hours. So if it's 20 hours, it will end at 5 a.m., which would be a little bit earlier than I want to wake up. But if my alarm wakes me up, nice thing about this, you put your set temperature in, and then it will just hold. It will hold when you're done. It will stop cooking. It will load to like 160 and it'll keep cooking. Well, it'll hold. It'll hold it warm and not keep cooking it. Big thing with brisket, though, you want to go more by like probe tenderness than actual temperature, too. I said you cook to temperature, not time. You actually cook to more feel than temperature. But yeah, not a brisket podcast. I wish it was at sometimes. But yeah, let me continue on. If the Goku was a 6, would buy. The 5.5, isn't it? So you earn ad revenue while you advertise to us. Yeah, you gotta double dip. There's a lot of double dippers out there in Pokemon, collecting a salary, searching eBay, searching Buyee, doing their thing. So I gotta double dip too, right? I gotta get some ad revenue. I gotta pump myself. I gotta do my own self promotion there. So you guys get to double dip. I get to double dip too. He'll say he didn't set the price, Brad. This guy has excuses for everything. Yeah. Nice to see you, Cheeks Galore, Jacob. Are your prices firm? I'm cash ready. Will pay now. All my items, I am always item ready. So if you're cash ready, I'm item ready. It is not an additional incentive for me. Like I always presume that my buyers are cash ready or credit ready. I mean, I take credit too. I take MasterCard, American Express, Visa, Capital One. Just swipe that card and the card can be yours. Flexing and telling us to click his affiliate links. Jesus, this is dark. Oh man. Yeah, the classic collection box is insane. I'm keeping one sealed for now, but I think I have more coming in December. It's actually crazy how big it is. I have one more coming in December, or not one more. I have one more like wave coming in December as far as I know. I don't know how many units it will be. I thought I was only gonna get. I was told initially that I was only gonna get 6 or 7. I think I ended with like 11 or 12. I broke down all but this one. This is the one that I actually got through the Pokemon Center. I wish I had canceled that pre-order, but I forgot to. Do you recall when you became an eBay top-rated seller, if that helped increase your view sales, and if so, by about how much? It's so impossible to say by how much that helped. It was over a decade ago. I became an eBay top-rated seller initially when I was selling like silver. I was selling bullion primarily. You were going to get a 1% black label rate before you even sent the submission. You think I'll be able to retire on Topps Chrome attempting a complete Sparkle set? I do not think a complete Sparkle set of Topps Chrome would be sufficient to fund an entire retirement. Unless it was a very short retirement. I don't know. Which hopefully wouldn't be the case. What did you end up doing with your classic boxes? Did you send anything for grading? If so, what cards, what grading company, and what tier? I did not send any yet. I broke them all down, and they're all still sitting there. I do intend to send some. I just haven't had the time to open them yet. I'll probably be opening them like Saturday night or Sunday night, and I'll probably send them Monday. So depending on how they look, if they look black label worthy, which they probably won't, I would send some to BGS. But if I do PSA, I'll probably do the $40 tier. I really should have gotten them out immediately, but I'm slow on a lot of these things. The Jets will probably lose Friday. That's probably a decent bet. Can I mow your lawn, Dan? No, that's all me. How's it going, Beerski? Nice to see you. Got some good videos over there. Nice young channel. When is the holiday slowdown in sales? I keep hearing about, not seeing it myself. Yeah, me neither. I don't know what's up, Walrus. The amount of people who pay me $20 to ship a $1 card to Canada is insane. I don't see much of that. But yeah, that is it is something that happens for sure. Is Walrus Lake incorporated or unincorporated? I believe he's a sole proprietor, but maybe he'll tell you himself in the chat. Do you go into risky stocks with high gains or slow, steady growth? So I do all my active. All my active is in Pokemon. All my passive, slow, long-term, I'm talking like, I'll probably never sell most of my stock portfolio. Most of my IRAs, most of my 401ks, I'll hopefully never have to sell. Hopefully I'll live a long, full life to 100 years old and then pass away and just be able to hand them down to somebody. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe life won't treat me well and maybe I'll have to sell a lot of it younger than I think. But hopefully that's not the case. All you can do is see where life goes. So, but yeah, I don't do individual stocks. I do have a Robinhood that has very, very minimal amount of individual stocks, but I'm not buying any new ones. All my money is going into passive index funds. And I have a little bit of money in crypto. Probably the riskiest thing I'm in of everything. I think crypto, especially at today's prices, is probably more risky than Pokemon as far as how much it can go down. Maybe it has higher upside though too, as far as how high it could go up. So very, very low portion of my net worth, but I do have some crypto, and I have obviously a lot of cardboard via my inventory. Sold my last PSA 1 Van Gogh. Life is good. Mr. Walrus making the D-Gen PSA 1 plays. It's definitely not Takibana. You're good, though. Tachibana. I did mean celebrations, I just derped. Have you had success starting to shift inventory from Troll and Toad? I've been using TCG Player more recently, and single sealed seem to move at lightning speed. Yeah, the only issue with TCG Player is that you have to do them yourself, right? So I've moved a lot of mine to either TCG Player or to my eBay. I'm doing like Comsi for singles. I'm doing consignment type deals with various individuals who I just send them a bunch of cards and they sell them on my behalf for a certain percentage. I'm doing a little bit of a lot of different things. Nothing is completely filling the gap that Evo left, but yeah, it's going well though still. Oh, the video where you traded your Chinese promo thing. Your acting skills were horrible. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm not super comfortable in front of the camera on something like that for sure, and that showed through. But I think it was cool. I think it was cool, and I was glad they included me, even if it may have been to the detriment of their video. But yeah, the trade down challenge, that was a fun video idea. What are your thoughts experiences on buying out cheap listings of cards you find undervalued? For example, you have a graded card that's hard to grade slash find, and someone else has it listed too low. I have a couple times. A couple times I've had a pretty niche thing and I've been like, this feels too low. That was more like 5+ years ago. I had this low listed thing. I have this thing and it's like, man, this should really be worth more than $200, $300, whatever it was. There were times where, and I can't think of specific examples. Usually I would just price it, sell it, move on. But there's definitely maybe 2 or 3 times that I've done that. And it was mostly probably like a PSA 10 low pop first edition holo that I scooped one in auction and then I listed it as buy it now, and then I sold my own and the one that I flipped at a higher price generally. Canned and fresh in this house, cranberry sauce is where it's at. I'm going to be trying to primarily I'm going to eat 1 turkey leg each day. The leg is the only worthwhile part of the turkey. Gotta go dark meat. Gotta go with just one of the legs. I'm bringing brisket and pork belly burnt ends. So that's primarily going to be what I'm eating. I'm big on mashed potatoes, corn, stuff like that, biscuits. But yeah, I'm going to be probably having a couple IPAs, eating minimal turkey, maximum amount of pork belly burnt ends. I will say though, the pork belly burnt ends will probably go really well with some turkey. So maybe I'll do like a turkey and pork belly burnt end sandwich or something. Where are we at? I just jumped to the bottom, but not too far away from the bottom. Question: favorite football (parentheses soccer) player? So proper football. I used to play FIFA. I used to play FIFA in college a decent bit. I used to play as the US quite a bit. I'm trying to think who even. I definitely used to play as Brazil some just to make things easier on myself. But yeah, I probably had like FIFA 08, FIFA 04, 06, 08, somewhere in there. And I'm trying to think who even were the lead. Landon Donovan, maybe? Was it Landon Donovan? As far as I soccer highlights are actually like, I think soccer's a beautiful game. I think some soccer highlights are just fantastic to watch. I find myself getting recommended just quick 5-10 minute some of the best soccer plays, like Messi. Some of Messi's highlights, probably Messi stands out. I've seen a lot of Ronaldinho, a lot of Zinedine Zidane. I've seen a lot of different highlights of various people, but probably Messi would be the one that just most frequently when a video really is like, wow, that was nuts. It's usually Messi, at least in my experience. If I start a YouTube channel, can your vault service sponsor me, or are you salty? I would absolutely do some videos through you. So my first sponsorship I ever did was through Top 10 Pokemon. I did a couple with him, and I did one with Josh recently. It was a ZNG Emporium stream, and I sponsored that. That was funny. I sponsored a ZNG Emporium live stream through the Green Shiz. So next year, I plan to increase the advertising budget and try to push more information out there. I'm getting my methods refined with the eBay vault, so very bullish on the eBay vault. Dan, do you double dip in real life? I'm talking potato chips. If I'm eating my own dip that is just for me, I will double, triple, quadruple dip because I want to get a lot of dip on those chips. I'm a big fan of a high dip to chip ratio. But if I'm utilizing a public salsa or queso or dip of any kind, I do not double dip. I mind the one dip rule for sure. sure does, with sour cream in the beard. Oh man. Uh, do you still collect, Dan, or does that has that passion died for you? I mean, look behind me. There's quite a bit of stuff here behind me. I definitely collect a fair bit of stuff. I still collect Steins. I was in between Steins and coins. I didn't know which one to say first. I still have a big Stein collect. Well, not huge. I have a decent Stein collection. I have a decent bit of Breweriana, which is like brewery related collectibles. I have a decent coin collection still. And I hope to add to it over time. There's definitely more stuff that I want to get eventually. So I still collect Pokemon. Not a lot of cards anymore. There are most cards that I add are ones that I have a personal tie to. Like this card. This is my most recent PC card. I pulled this in Houston. So this is gonna go into my PC. My PC 50 years from now, if I'm lucky enough to live another 50 years, will be 50 cards or less, hopefully. Maybe 100 cards. I guess I'm looking right across the way at my what do they call it? I can't think of the case that I have. I think that holds like 120 cards. I'll probably limit my collection to what fits within that, plus my childhood binder. So yeah, if I have like one or two cards per year from over the years, just to remember different events, remember different times, and honestly, 10, 20 years from now, even maybe 5 years from now, Houston's gonna blend in with like all the other collecticons that I go to. I don't know that I'll specifically remember Goldengo from that rip that I did. Uh, Definitely not a Dolphins fan, but I'm a realistic Jets fan. They are probably not gonna win Friday. My HVAC stopped working today, and I was quoted around 10K to replace the HVAC and water heater. What is your KA sponsored HVAC repair company? I would do that in house. I would go to my like when you say your HVAC, was it your heating, ventilation, or air conditioning? I mean, there are multiple components in there. Was it everything all together? Was it the main fan that powers it all? I would start by YouTube searching whatever the model number was on the faulty component, and I would try to troubleshoot. Who knows? Who knows what it could be? Not recommended that anyone who has no experience with anything technical try to tear into an AC unit or tear into a furnace or whatever. But yeah, like I've changed out hot surface igniters on my furnace. I've changed out pressure switches and things like that. My heating system, my furnace is probably due to be changed relatively soon. So at some point I will do a full change on it, but if it's minor things, like usually you can extend to get a few more years out of it. So if it's 10K to replace, do you really need to replace already? Or can you maybe spend 500 or 1,000 bucks on a tech to fix something and kick it down the road a few more years? I don't know what your situation is, but that's the progression my mind would go. Oh, it's heating and air conditioning both broke, 21 years old. So yeah, you might be due for a replacement. I would my dad is very handy with a lot of different things. My dad has a good friend that is actually HVAC, so I would probably do a bit of a cash deal, and I would be assisting my dad, assisting his friend, putting in something nice cash deal, convention type discount, in person, cash in hand. I would probably get a decent deal on it, and I would probably partake in the changing of that. Definitely very fortunate to have the situation where my dad can just he either can fix anything or he knows someone who can. And I picked up a lot of that from him because I've fixed dishwashers, I've fixed televisions, I've fixed PlayStation 3s, I've fixed lawnmowers. Like I've fixed a lot of things, and a lot of the technical savvy that I have definitely came from him. If you guys want to see Dan in 25 years, just watch the Terry podcast. They might be related. Absolutely. We have very similar opinions on a lot of stuff. Very similar takes on a lot of stuff. Dan is off tomorrow since it's a banker's holiday. I go by the postal holidays. Dan being an extreme gambler without a prenup, marriage the riskiest things he's in. I am not remotely concerned with my marriage situation. Definitely, if you look at the raw numbers of just everyone's marriages, if you look at the raw numbers, they are pretty risky. But I'm like anything else, if you do the proper research and you get knowledgeable and experienced, and you can definitely far exceed the averages for something like that. And with something like that, it's binary, right? You either it's 0 or 1. Like most things are not binary, 0 or 1, black or white. But marriage, divorce, right? Those are the two options, and definitely sticking with marriage. What Pokemon do you hate the most? I don't hate any Pokemon. I can't say that I have that strong of opinions on anything. And Brad says I forgot to do a prenup before I got married. Oops. I not that I have a lot today either, but I am definitely not in a financial situation, or I wasn't in a financial situation to have even considered anything like that, like remotely. My net worth. What was I going to defend? My zero net worth, or what was my net worth when I got married? At some point, I do still intend to do more of a financial video talking about the catch 'em all household budget and all that. But yeah, my net worth when I got married was not crazy. It was and a lot of it we kind of we started building things together. We merged our finances before we got married, which I would largely advise people against doing if you aren't confident that you're going to end like in marriage that lasts forever. Definitely did something that anyone would advise against. But very happy with the outcome, and definitely wouldn't have changed it. Would do the same thing that I did, because it was definitely the wise thing. Garen says, you source off TCG Player. I'm comfortable doing it with the $5 to $6 cards, but more expensive cards make me nervous doing it off there without pictures. Not really a question, just your thoughts. Look at TCG Fish. What's the 10 rate on it? Celebrations Charizard. I am so comfortable sourcing off TCG Player because the 10 rate's just pretty high. And what's your downside? If you're quick, obviously the market can fluctuate and it can go down. But if you're relatively quick and you buy a well-priced listing on TCG Player and you get it within a few days and you immediately list it, like say it's not gradable, you immediately list it, your downside, generally speaking, will be say 15 to 25%. So it's a known downside with a relatively known upside too. Forecast what you should roughly be able to sell it for. And yeah, just as I always say, it's just math. Just do the math, and the math will treat you right. Mr. Waller said, I would forget too if my wife was loaded. She is my sugar mama. I'm assuming that's a sugar mama type quote. uh I don't know. I did Google what this is. Oh, thoughts on chicharron. I'm probably saying that completely wrong. I love pork rinds. Pork rinds are delicious. I actually have a bag in the vicinity of pork rinds. Pork cracklins. Who's the maker of them? I think the kids say slap. These things slap. Max chicharrones. I don't know how to say that. Max original chicharrones, pork cracklins. They're like pork rinds, but they're even crispier, and they have some of the fat attached still. They are fantastic. Not good. I mean, health advice. They are not good for you, but they are delicious. Amazing actually. So many people I need to get sponsored. I need Max now. I need Coca-Cola. I'm drinking just Gatorade now. Gatorade in my own bottle because Gatorade won't pay me. Also, follow up when buying on TCG Player, is TCG Direct something to stay away from? I had one order of 10 come in and all were very bad shape. This is actually, I guess it's been enough time that maybe I can spill the paywall sauce a little bit. Um, a lot of people talk about what they think goes on behind the paywall. I'm actually gonna make a video about it at some point. I'm gonna do like an inside look at the paywall, and I'm gonna show some of the documents that we've shared, talk about some of the discussions that Jake and I have had, and some of the deep dives. We don't tell anyone what to buy. We don't tell anyone, but I do share some tips and tricks that I think are helpful. I don't buy from direct. I buy from the lower feedback to seller, the better likelihood that I'm going to get a gradable card, in my opinion, in my experiences, anecdotal, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I generally avoid direct because think about it. More than one person has handled those. It's disproportionately, it's higher, more experienced sale TCG player sellers. So yeah, in one of my Patreon videos, I actually showed you exactly how I optimize my cart when buying from TCG player. And part of it involves not buying from direct. Not the whole thing, just part of it. Uh, Straight up carnivore for sure. Making the food no one wants to eat, selfish. I can almost guarantee you all the brisket and pork belly burnt ends that I bring tomorrow will be gone. And there will be leftover turkey and there will be leftover everything else. I'm going to 3 different places, so it's going to be split multiple ways. But I have an 18-pound brisket and like a 10-ish pound. So I'll probably have 6 to 8 pounds of brisket brought to each place, and then 3 to 5 pounds of pork brought to each place. Actually, not that much. Maybe 2 to 3 pounds of pork brought to each place, because that cooks down significantly. The weight on that cooks down insanely significantly. Clint Dempsey was one of them too. Landon Donovan was maybe later. He was maybe after I was in college. Question: thoughts on people feeling attacked for an opinion and then proceeding to tell you how to speak? I don't know what this is in reference to. But if people feel attacked for an opinion, that's weird. I don't think you should feel attacked for an opinion. And then proceeding to tell you shouldn't tell people how to speak either. So I'm feeling bearish on this whole situation, whatever it's in reference to. Maybe it's in reference to me. I don't know. Uh, yeah, Mr. Walrus sometimes can be tough to read, for sure. But he's a sweetheart. I'll always assume the best intent because meet him in real life. He's a sweetheart. Them soccer games be 4 hours long and end up a 0-0 tie. That's a pass for me, dog. I hate ties. One nice thing about the NHL, they have a pretty decent overtime setup where it always, like, I'm not a huge fan of a shootout. I would rather it be settled playing hockey, not playing a one-sided different, like, a shootout is a different game from hockey. It looks the same. It's I guess it's kind of like a breakaway, but it's just a manufactured like mini game within hockey. I prefer when a game doesn't, and like playoff hockey that just goes golden goal forever. They'll go to like 10 overtimes if they need to. I prefer that strongly, but I understand why they can't do that for the regular season. And but soccer, they just end in ties. I hate that. The NFL does technically too. It only happens once a year or so. But yeah, if I went to a game, paid money to go attend a game, and then nobody won, that's so unsatisfying. Somebody needs to win. The canvases and paintings are from someone else that says should sponsor me. Uh, Pokemon Center. Just go to Pokemon Center and search canvas. They're really, really nice. If you compare the prices of these to the prices of cards, like insane value. Given their size, given the art, given relative to just like me as a consumer, I would not, for 40 bucks, I would not spend 40 bucks on a consumable like that anywhere else but Pokemon. Yeah, on the 29th, there's going to be a solid live over on Bierski's channel. Go check it out. Dan is calling. He turns it off and on, and if that doesn't work, he calls someone. I always go right to YouTube. YouTube. My original experiences with YouTube going back like college, it was like, hey, my PlayStation broke. Hey, my buddy's Xbox yellow light of death. How do I fix this? So many. I mean, you type in the model number. There's so many like small appliance repair people on there. That's peak YouTube. Back late 2000s, late like 2005, 2010, somewhere in there. That's peak YouTube. All the DIYers helping other DIYers. In-house panel upgrades. I don't know if you're talking about like electrical panel. I rewired my whole last house I lived in. This one is pretty new. This one is only well, it's 19 years old now, which obviously is pretty young for a house. But yeah, this house I don't need to rewire because it's all new. But my last house was a lot of the cloth wiring from like the 50s or 60s or something. Give me the DM me the model number of your furnace, and I'll send you some videos to check to troubleshoot it. Find the manual and troubleshoot it. Like, what do you mean it broke? What broke exactly? How do all at once the heating and air conditioning just break? I mean, there's definitely ways that happens, but I just feel like I mean, you only need one per season, right? So if it's if it's the AC going into winter, you got some time on your side. The heat going into winter, that's the one you can. I mean, depending on where you live, you can go without. At least where I live, you can go without AC in the summer. You cannot go out without heat in the winter, especially with kids. So depending on which side of it broke and what season and where you live, like you might have more or less time on your hands. Are you more like Tim the Toolman or Bob Vila? I never really watched any. Was Bob Vila? Did he just have a commercial? Oh, he had a show. See, I never watched his shows. I watched a little bit of Home Improvement, not a ton, but so I guess Tim the Toolman, but not by a lot. Dude, gonna be holding the flashlight, acting like he helps. I still today, like a few months ago, the alternator went on my wife's car, and my dad came over, and I was pretty much holding the flashlight. I'm a lot better flashlight holder at 33 than I am at than I was at like 5 or 3. I was probably holding the flashlight for my dad sometimes when I was like 3. Definitely a lot better these days. Man doesn't math when it's convenient. Terrible marriage take. I mean, just like just grade 10s. Just marry the right person. Don't get divorced. I mean, it's pretty easy. Just grade 10s. Just marry the right person. Divorce is a bag. Don't do it. And on like divorce is the right thing for many people, I'm sure, many times, but the actual bag was the wrong marriage. That's certain things in life you definitely don't want to screw up on, and who you choose to marry is one of I mean, who you choose to have children with is above that. Obviously that is there's no divorce from that. Not that you'd want to, but yeah. Uh L Dub says I'm actually a banker and feel personally attacked daily by this chat slash Discord. Good thing feelings don't matter. Can we get a full room tour? Room looks big on cam, but not sure. So like behind me, I'm in one corner of the room, obviously. At some point I will show more of it, but it is almost perpetually a huge mess, and I just don't want to show it all. So yeah, unfortunately, probably not showing it anytime soon. It you will see. So on the opposite side, just behind the monitors, there's actually two. Shout out Cardinal Gaming. He had a fantastic video on the shelves that he uses to store his TCG player bulk inventory. So I imitated what his setup in those videos. I bought the stuff that he linked. IKEA, not affiliate links, sadly. IKEA didn't hook him up with the affiliate links, but I'm thrilled with them. I'm so happy. I actually need to put one more in. I have space for one more, so I did 2 out of the 3. I'm definitely gonna put the other one in. At some point, I'll do a video that just shouts out Mason's videos, links that, and I will show that side of the room largely in that video. Did I say? I see Mason say who? Cardinal Gaming. Did I say Mason? Did I say Cardinal Gaming? Did I say the wrong person? Now I don't know if I said. I don't know what I said now. Yeah, we should get a mod. Like maybe Mason Berry can post Cardinal Gaming's channel for us. I just saw a good question that I got jumped to the bottom. Why is Ponga the hottest thing in Pokemon, and how does he do it? I don't know how he does it, but clearly he's making the rounds. He's making the rounds on some big Pokemon channels. I hear that he's lined up to go on an up and coming channel that's taking the world by storm. He also was just recently on Pokeflips. Decent podcast over there. You guys should check it out. Looking to get into a sugar mama scenario. I like today's live. It feels intimate and like everyone here has a distaste for Daniel. I did not buy any TikTok deals. I have a lot of the same stuff that they're doing a really good deal on. I did not get as good of a deal on it, but I don't really want to create a new account with them. I mean, I have a TikTok where I post, like I cross-post my shorts, but I don't want to create an account to save $30 on a booster box, or to save 40, even 40, $50 on a booster box. I buy stuff by the case mostly. I like yellow Gatorade the best. Orange Gatorade I just got to mix it up so that I'm not always drinking Gatorade. I always mix them to like half. I buy the big thing of powder and I mix them to about half strength of what they tell you to do. Thoughts on turkey? Definitely overrated. Turkey lags behind every, like turkey's barely, it's like the fish of the land animals. It's just not good. I mean, it's outclassed in the poultry department. It's outclassed by every other poultry. I mean, chicken being the main one, but red meat just heavily outclassed. Chicken though, chicken is very versatile. Chicken's up there, but beef substantially ahead of that. If you've ever had like venison, pork obviously not up the caliber of beef, but pork's pretty good. My pork rinds that I was just talking about earlier, the pork belly burnt ends I'm gonna make. Crown Zenith for $25 per ETB or $151 for 30. I would lean. They're both great sets. I love both sets. That's actually tough. I would lean 151 to be honest. It is newer, so it might take a little bit longer, but I think 151 will just hit better, being the first set that had the whole Kanto region all together. My patchy grass that was my driveway. We're actually, sometime the next week, we're doing the drainage to get my gutters carried out down to the ditch. And next summer, I'm going to get the driveway blacktop. So my patchy grass was a reflection that Brad saw in my smoker that was my gravel driveway being grown in by grass. I've heard flipping is hard time and consuming, is going full-time a mistake. Going full-time could definitely be a mistake if you don't have the right systems in place, don't have the right experience, don't have the right capital, all that. But very, very personalized depending on your situation. Yeah, Garen's just dipping the chip once in the paywall dip. If you've got a spare 30 seconds, you should look into Rory Delap's throw-ins. Is he one of the ones who does like a front flip, I guess? I don't know if it would be considered like a somersault or a front flip. As far as I'm not a soccer expert, proper football expert. As long as your 2 feet are planted at the time that you throw it, you're allowed to, I guess I could just pull it up. Roy DeLapp. I've definitely seen some throw-ins where people do. Here's a minute-long YouTube video. Okay, so he doesn't do like a flip or anything. That's probably not practical whatsoever. But yeah, I'm watching a 60-second video right now. Throwing it in from the side, almost like a corner. I mean, his throwing is basically a corner, which is nuts. That's wild. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I don't know what it is. Like, I never played soccer at a high level, nowhere near a high level. I played ASO for a couple years when I was younger. My son just played this year for his first year. But soccer is just definitely a lot of fairly boring, a lot of slow, like, ball movement and stuff like that. But some of the finishes in soccer can be beautiful. Like, the passing, the footwork. Maybe I respect it a lot, too, because, like, I've never remotely done anything anywhere near it. But, I mean, like, basketball, hockey, I just feel like, I don't know what it is, but certain things in soccer just have a certain beauty to them, I think. Why didn't the Jets trade for a QB like Dobbs instead of sticking with Wilson now, Boyle? I have no idea. I have no idea what they're doing. Whatever they're doing, most times it's probably wrong. But, yeah, the fact that they didn't trade clearly didn't pan out. Zach Wilson is benched now. Rough times. Dan would love if soccer was like his business. In order for him to succeed, someone must lose. Do they come with Van Gogh? I mean, the Van Gogh promotion's done now. But no, I don't think they did. I think you needed to buy TCG product. Can you pump Lorana for the homies that pulled an Enchanted Rare? I will not pump it, but I will also not say the negative things. Not really negative. It's just not for me. Lorcana, I'm not really interested. Which I guess I said the negative thing that I said I wasn't going to say. Let's see. Charizard UPC or 151 UPC? Which one do you like since you're a sealed investor now? There's pros and cons to both. I think 151 is a more solid set than any pack within the Charizard UPC. I really like the 151 set. But the Charizard UPC has Charizard. It's got Charizard in the name. It's got Evolving Skies packs in there. It's got more variety of packs. So it's more of like a basket of a few different sets. If any one of those sets goes up, the breakdown value of that can go up. It's not just tied to one. But I really like them both a lot for different reasons. Yeah, the Jets' defense is solid. Having the worst offense makes it rough, though. Let's see. I'm only 11 minutes behind, so I'm not doing too bad. The thing with the alternator, it's one of those jobs that I could have done myself, but my dad was I definitely, especially if it's with a car, he definitely, if it's a random, like, I've fixed TVs. He's never fixed a TV as far as I'm aware. He's never fixed a PlayStation 3. If it's more of like a tech thing, if it's computer, I've replaced fans in his computer. I've replaced keyboards and computers. He wouldn't touch any of that. So the more like tech related it is, the more it's in my wheelhouse. And the more mechanical related it is, the more it's in his wheelhouse. If it's something like a washer or a dryer, that's kind of like, he's definitely a lot more capable of doing it, but I am not as far lagging as I would be if it's like metalworking or something like that, or working on a car. I mean, I can change brakes. Oil changes is like the most basic task to do on a car. I can do all that stuff, but it's like if he's there and he's helping anyways, I might as not get in his way. Like, I know my place, right? I'm the flashlight guy in that lineup. I'm fine. If it means the team is more likely to win, I will sit the bench. That's my take on that whole thing. I think that's a decent analogy. I let the stars shine there. I I almost I almost put my desk into the corner, but then it's like I'm gonna be looking at a wall all day. Like it's not a massive room. I think the room is 15 by 15 ish, but I have some distance to look out. Right? Maybe I can get one of those maybe I can get a nice big panoramic picture of like some scenery that I can look at across the way. But right now it's pretty much TCG player shelves and too many boxes piled up and stuff like that. My desk is, yeah, pretty much. My desk, I have an L-shaped desk that goes along this wall you can't see. I have my clock there. My, what do they call it? The Pokemon Center musical clock from 2000, whatever that. There's some special name for it. I forget what. I can't think of it. But yeah, I have my magical clock there. There's like a bookshelf type thing here on my desk with way too much junk on it. I have some sealed Oreos up there on top of my bookshelf. And then I have the everything you see behind me. I have another shelf over there on the wall. It's a lot of just shelving. It's a lot of shelving. I have a TV over there on that wall. 2 monitors here. There we go. We got Mr. Walrus posted Mason's channel. I just wanted you to say it again. Okay. I didn't know if I shouted out the wrong person or something. Double discounts are gone now, says Ponga. Not a must buy. So they're good buys, they're not great buys anymore, sounds like. I have plenty of electrolytes. Rondo. It's got what plants need. Anyone get that reference? And anyone know what that what movie that's from? Hi Dan, what's your opinion on Costco? I haven't been to Costco in a few months now. I probably will be making a Costco trip sometime in the next month or two. I'm not a fan that they blade tenderize their meats, to be honest. That's a big one up for Walmart as far as buying individual steaks. When I go to Costco, I'll probably that's usually what I do. Usually what I do is I buy whole cuts, a whole ribeye or a whole tenderloin, and I'll cut it myself because a lot of pre-cut meat at grocery stores or at butchers is thinner than I like. I would rather get a much thicker cut. Like tonight, since I had the smoker going since 1 p.m. for the brisket, I actually I did a tomahawk ribeye for dinner for the family. And nice thick from Walmart, nice thick tomahawk ribeye. I posted it in the paywall for anyone in there. It's in the other post. But yeah, I smoked that for like an hour and a half till it was 130 internal. And then I had that baby just ripping on a ripping hot Weber grill. I seared it for a couple minutes each side. 2 minutes each side. Got a nice crust. And that thing was fantastic. Smoked, then seared on the grill ribeye. Thick. It needs to be a thick steak though to do it properly. To get a nice, no gray bands on the outside. You just get the whole thing is like that perfect pink towards red. Medium rare is what I shoot for usually. And the outside is just like a nice crisp sear. That's the ideal cook for me. This dude knows his meat. I've gone in. I've never gotten a whole cow myself. That would be excessive. I do have a my chest freezer is probably like 12 cubic feet or maybe 15 cubic feet. I have a good sized chest freezer. I wouldn't call myself a prepper, but I definitely keep a decent amount. I like being well stocked. I like always having anything I might want to cook. I have a big pantry that's always well stocked. I have a big chest freezer that's always well stocked. And what was I? Oh yeah, I've never gotten a whole cow, but I've gone in halves, thirds, quarters with people. A lot of it though, like we don't eat a ton of ground meat. If you buy a quarter of a cow, like an actual true quarter where you get 25% of every cut, it's not the right proportions for my family, the way that we consume beef. we disproportionately use a lot more steak. Like I want to just eat ribeye. My wife wants to eat tenderloin. Usually my wife and kids are eating tenderloin and I'm eating ribeye. And unfortunately, they haven't genetically engineered a cow to only be tenderloin and ribeye. If they can make that happen, then I would just buy the whole cow. But unfortunately, it comes with all these roasts. It comes with all this stuff you grind up for ground beef. And just give me a ribeye and tenderloin. Is that too much to ask for? Y'all seen Oak's grass? Dude has an incredible lawn. Yeah, I've seen that. My lawn is nothing like that. The whole internet knows about your patchy lawn. Don't try and blame me. My neighbors are way more into lawns than I am. I've never been a big lawn guy, but my neighbors are out there like spraying all, like individually plucking all the dandelions as they grow. So because they go from the yellow flower to the white puffy seed things. My lawn is over here for a week or two. Those white puffy things. My kids are picking them up and blowing them. The wind actually travels the way that like my kids are blowing the dandelions and all the seeds are going over to my neighbor's lawn. The ones who meticulously handpick all the dandelions and spray the area and like just all grass. Like mine has some amount of a clover. Mine has some amount of weeds and stuff. Like I just don't care. I cut it a couple times a week, 1 to 2 times a week, and that's it. At some point my lawnmower, actually, I might need to update my lawnmower in the next year or two. I hope I can get a few more years out of it. The hood is falling apart. I've had to remount the seat to it. I'm a pretty big dude. I'm like 250 pounds. And I mow my ditch, which is like a 45-degree angle. So I sit on one side of the seat at a 45-degree angle so the mower doesn't flip over. And I like beat on that mower pretty good. It's 10 years old now. So at some point, relatively soon, I'm going to have to get a new mower. What else is going on with it? That's mostly it. The belt has a weird issue where it falls off a bunch, but I think I mostly rectified that by tightening up the tensioner spring. A little bit of a DIY fix there. But anyways, if that mower has to be laid to rest, I'll try to make some content with it before I do. Watch Barca, especially a couple years back. Absolute clinic moving the ball. Pokeballs is purchased. 30 Zenith boxes at 22 to 25. Debating on 151 at 30, but waiting for lower with reprint just announced. 30 is about what I pay. I mean, and if it's a TikTok deal, you can go sub wholesale. I mean, even the broader market can go sub wholesale, depending on how things go, right? Do you watch any YouTubers that cover your favorite sports teams? For a while, I was tuning in for Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee I think he does like every weekday for a couple hours. I was watching some of his lives for a while. I don't really watch any sports YouTubers outside of that. I watch a lot of football every Sunday. Like tomorrow, all day, I'm going to be watching all the games, eating food, having some IPAs, hanging out with family and friends. But there's no Jets, there's no Rangers, there's no Mets channel that I watch. I try to just watch the games. Actually, speaking of that, the Rangers were up 1-0, second intermission when I went live. Let's see what the Rangers are doing right now. Rangers won 1-0. Wow, that's awesome. I'm assuming it was Igor and net with a shutout, unless it was Quick pitching a shutout. It was Quick. Wow. Jonathan Quick with a 32 save shutout. That's awesome. 1 goal scorer, Alexis Lafreniere. The Rangers were rare for this year, rare underdogs being away in Pittsburgh. I put like $25 on the Rangers to win 27-28. I won like $28 while I was live. Nice. uh Am I wasting my day by not listening and being here instead? Definitely, like, I mean, there's 56 people watching. There's probably only 10 to 15 people actively engaging in chat. So the 40 people who are lurking are probably being more productive as far as listing cards, conditioning cards, like uh whatever it may be, buying cards. Like that is the optimal way to go. But I love all the engagement from the live chat go. So I can't tell you to not engage in chat. Gambling to no one's surprise. I do I usually I bet on games more so than I'm watching. This one I didn't watch any of because I was live for the end of it. But yeah, I do enjoy putting some money on a game that I'm watching. It makes it more exciting having a more vested interest. Pokebino, we got an HVAC tech in here. Sounds like. Do any of y'all use magnetic acrylic booster box cases? I get them periodically. I like them. Usually when I buy a Watsy box, sorry, it was just off screen. When you buy a $10,000 Watsy box, a lot of people will throw them in with the deal. So really dusty because it's been sitting around for a while. But this one has little magnets. This one's I don't know who it's made by, but Phantom Display. They make a lot of great products. They probably make one. I remember years ago, some of the first ones, they used to have screws all over them. They looked pretty rough, but they got the job done. They protected the boxes. But yeah, I really like these. I like them quite a bit. I don't really have like a booster box collection, but if I did, I would have a bunch of those. I live in New York, so I'm able to pump my own gas. There's like one or two local places around me that pump the gas for you. I don't like that. I specifically, like for some people, they probably only go there because they don't want to get out and pump their gas. I avoid that specifically because I don't like other people pumping my gas. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like being in New Jersey and having to have somebody else pump my gas. Sit the bench, no, bro. We need you at starting center. If we're playing basketball, I will be starting over my dad. If we're changing an alternator, my dad will be starting over me. Those shelves must be quite the view compared to a wall. Most of my view is taken up by my two pretty large monitors, so I'm just lot of screen time. Too much screen time. Hey, my consigners currently, if you are on consignment with me and you opted into the 10 or 25% sale level, they're doing it at only a 5 or 20% cost to their net price, and I'm making nothing. I'm hoping that I will sell many tens of thousands of dollars of slabs. I just did payouts earlier today. I probably paid out 15 or 20ish thousand today. Some of that was pre-sale. So maybe only 10-ish thousand was during the sale. But yeah, I paid out about $10,000 today, on which I made no commission. And I'm glad to pump up my eBay numbers a bit more towards the year end. I'm glad to get my turnover up, to lower those stale listings, to move into new inventory. And I mean, not all my consigners, but some of my consigners, they're taking that capital, they're buying more cards, they're making more plays, making more deals for cards they're ultimately going to consign with me again, right? When even if I'm not making any direct commission for a couple of periodic times throughout the year, it's definitely beneficial for me to just have people's cards moving through. A lot of soccer talk in here. What's for dinner? Yeah, I had a very tasty tomahawk ribeye for dinner, and then tomorrow is all the normal traditional Thanksgiving stuff. And I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy who comes in with the brisket and the pork belly burn ends. What are your thoughts on the whole PSA damaging cards debacle? I actually had some cards damaged on my first PSA sub last year, but it was completely new, so I had no idea what to do. LOL. They have the customer request center. It's rough. It's kind of pitiful. Java Akuma made a video. I think he's like 7 months in. Years ago, when I opened an EX Ruby Sapphire booster box, I had PSA damaged every EX from that submission. And I'm not talking like a white dot like is going on right now. Top left corner on top left from the front, top right from the back, I think, is what's going on now. I grade easily obtainable cards in such volume that like I don't care. I mean, I care. I don't want them getting damaged. I don't look close enough to know though. When I get my return back, I'm not going through card by card. Like I don't know every card by heart. When I used to grade 7-8 years ago, that would have been more in line with what I was doing. Like Java sends a submission of maybe 50 cards. He knows the condition of those 50 cards much better than the cards that I'm sending. How will I know them? So I wouldn't even notice today if it was happening with me. It almost certainly happened to me if it's happening that widespread. But we continue to send to them. Like I think they're going to look into it to some extent, but they're not that pressed to. It's not costing them any business. So it's like, yeah, we'll look into it. We'll get to it when we get to it. We know you're going to buy from us. And kind of like Pokemon. Oh, Pokemon print quality so bad, blah, blah, blah. We keep buying. We're voting with our wallets that it's all fine. So it's going to continue, likely. They have very little incentive. No one's voting with their wallets. And if you were to, the reason that we're not, because if Java decided to not grade with PSA anymore till this was rectified, it would hurt him significantly more than it would hurt PSA. That's just the sad reality. So I've talked about my opinion on grading card companies. I know they're necessary, but all of them have their faults. They all have a lot of issues, more faults than I generally would be comfortable with, aside from the fact that like I can make a lot more money doing business with them. So I do. That's what it comes down to. This has come up on years ago. I remember there was a thread on E4. This has come up in Discord multiple times. I've had live streams in the past where we talked about it. My favorite foods are meats. So anything deer-like venison, anything cow-like beef, anything crab-like crab legs, and anything chicken-like chicken wings. We've gone through this many times. Aside from monetary loss, what are the worst ways to engage in the hobby or have the hobby engaged onto you? I guess time. I think some people, and even myself at times, I've probably gotten too wrapped up into being on my phone and during time that should be family time. And so some people almost get addicted to just staying fully caught up, fully informed on everything, and the amount of content you have to consume to feel like you're staying up with everything. Like some amount of people actually burn out, not from money, but just from like, man, this is almost disrupting my real life because I'm just consuming too much content, engaging too much in Discords, whatever it may be. They delete Discord for a month. They delete YouTube for a month, whatever it may be. I've never gotten in so deep that it's been that bad. But yeah, from time to time, it's like definitely days where things have gone on, things have been spicy, whatever it may be, and I've had to be engaged more and taken time away from like real life, which is not great. Definitely hit up conventions. Hitting up conventions though is best ways to engage in the hobby. I'm still 10 to 12 minutes away. uh Any opinion on the Japanese Shiny 2010 present campaign promos? I think those ones... Let me double check. Don't I have some of those on my eBay right now? I think I have a low grade CGC. Let me see. Come on. I have a Rayquaza that I just picked up in Houston via trade. But I also have two on consignment. So I have the Raikou and the Entei from that promotion. I think they're limited. How many copies was it again? Are they limited to 5,000 copies or 1,000 copies? They're pretty limited. So they're one of the more scarce, one of the lower print run Pokemon cards in all of the history, and they feature legendary Pokemon. So they're pretty cool in my opinion. Dan, at what age do you send your kids to Collecticon? Start doing trade up challenges for you to profit on. Ray had his kid hit me up. Shining Cards and Collectibles had his kid hit me up, and I had to give him free stuff. So Ray pulled that one on me. I'm going to instill in my children from a young age that no trade up challenges. You don't need to go that route. They're not going to be trade up challenges. Opinion on the state of the economy and geopolitics. It would be like me giving my opinion on people are talking about like all these different Champions League and all these different leagues. I can't give my opinion on that stuff because I'm not engaged enough, and I'm not engaged enough to have even formulated an opinion, let alone like an experienced, reasonable opinion. So I have no opinion. Have a good one, Ponga. Thanks for stopping in. TCG Tony's amazing pulls is drinking a $1 Pilsner from Costco. What's new with Mezu? Mezu has Karomi just landed pretty recently. I didn't buy any. I'm gonna make a video pretty soon. My promos will be available. Some amount of them will go out for free to people who've qualified for getting them for free, and some amount will be available for purchase through various means. Stay tuned, I guess. But overall, with Mezu, War got pushed out indefinitely. All the tournaments, I don't really keep up too closely with it. My only plan is to just engage with it once War comes around. I'm still 10 minutes behind. I'm gonna try to end at 10:30ish. So within 10 minutes, I'm gonna do my best to catch up with chat quickly. I'm gonna have a hard stop by 11. I don't want to stream until Thanksgiving. I want to get some sleep. I got to get up early tomorrow to tend to the meat. But yeah, let me see where my meat's at right now. I think I'm in a stall right now. I'm right in the thick of the stall. The meat's at like 160, 165. So it should be a few hours to get through that stall on the brisket. I don't like people pumping my gas. I don't want them cleaning my windows. That's why I don't go to those gas stations. For the acrylic cases, would you recommend the slide or magnetic? This one's slide and magnetic. This one it slides, but it also has magnets at the end that keep it shut. I like these ones. I don't know what they are though, unfortunately. Why is Dan not making commission? That's not very Dan, as the kids say, sus. Hey, James, I'm doing it for the community. For the community. I'm just a humble fisherman here. I have plenty. I'm trying to spread the wealth, share the wealth, trying to help people out. A banker wouldn't understand though. We need a Dan and Papa Dan podcast. It could happen at some point. I think it would be more appropriate when I potentially do like a finance channel. But maybe someday my dad will collab and be on a live stream here, talking fisherman things. Because my dad is very much fisherman mentality. He is, he grinded a lot in his young age, and he set himself up very well, and he's still a hard worker. But he's not doing most times, he's not doing the crazy long weeks that he used to as much. Uh, yeah, upstate New York. There's parts in upstate New York that are very, very desolate for sure. The Legend Z&G Emporium in chat. Do you make your own marmalade? I've never made my own marmalade, no. I think Phantom Display has pretty much UV protection on everything. I think they're a little bit more like higher end price wise, but I think it's a really quality product. I hope I'm not getting the name incorrect, but I believe Simon, very very nice guy that runs Phantom Display. I like their and I do have an affiliate code linked below for Graded Guard. Min is a great dude as well. But yeah, Graded Guard and Phantom Display, definitely some of the best products on the market in my opinion. Yeah, that candlelight vigil. Uh, gotta love ZNG content. Dan, if you were grading an Illustrator Snap Card 99 Pikachu trophy, would you pay the 5 to 10K premium to grade with PSA or grade with another company? If I was selling it and it was going to get a PSA 10, I would grade with PSA. If it was going to get a PSA 9, but had a chance at a CGC 10, I might go with CGC. If I was keeping it forever, I would go with CGC because I prefer the product and I prefer the price point. So it all depends on what I'm doing with the item. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving, Leaf Green Goblin. You're probably gone already by the time I read this, but we got Mr. Wallace dropping a link to some. Let me check out this link. Total Empire LLC. I think I've seen those magnetic cases. I would check out Phantom Display. Probably more expensive, but I think they I don't know if they have a YouTube channel, but I've seen some very in-depth Instagram videos, reels, where they talk about the UV protection and all that. Looks like Black Friday they're gonna have up to a 50% sale. Maybe they don't have booster box cases. I'm not even positive. Where'd I just go? Let me continue on. When are you spilling the CAC venues for next year? When they go public. I don't really have much insider information. I have a little bit of insider information. But yeah, I can't publicly share that, sorry. I only know roughly when the first one is and where it is. And it's not Orlando. It's not Orlando like it was the last couple of years. I don't forget that you bought me Dippin' Dots. We'll see. We'll see if you qualify or not. I've not honestly... I have an idea how many I want to give out for free, and I've not set the exact parameters and thresholds. I'm building up anticipation. I think it's working well. I'm rooting for the Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan tomorrow, too. Got to take down the Bills. A finance channel man wants to be antiviral on 2 channels. Absolutely. I didn't buy any Hello Kitty collab. I don't have access to it at partner pricing. I think they did it just wholesale through distribution, which is a fair bit higher price point. Part of it is that, so part of it's cost. It's not as cheap as I can get Native or UFO or Seance, the partner sets with the full discount. And it's also timing. I am swamped right now. I'm swamped right now working nights, really trying to get through a lot of backlog type stuff, and I'm trying to streamline a lot of my operations, and piling on Kuromi was just not plus EV. I don't think I think it's doing all right on the open market. I know some conversations I saw were going on in Discord where people are running the prices fairly low, margins fairly thin already. You create all trophies with CGC, they can sneak by on bulk here. If you're selling though, and if it's gonna be a PSA 10 and it's gonna also be a CGC 10 gem mint, you want to go PS. Like if it's a 97 Japanese trophy or an SSB or a TMB and it's gonna PSA 10 and it's only gonna be like a gem 10 at CGC as well, it's probably worth that $10,000. Like as sad and as hard as it is to pay that, it's probably worth 5 or 10 grand to and if it's an Illustrator that's gonna 9 and it's only if it's an Illustrator that's gonna 9 but it's gonna 10 at CGC like the one that just sold. I mean, that one got kind of beat up. I was surprised that went as low as it did. So maybe that would have done better in a PSA 9 case, but it's impossible to know. So this isn't coming from me. I'm not going to read it, but I put it on screen for potential first location in 2024. Thoughts on the 2020 Pokemon Futsal on the ball promos? I think they're cool. I bought a decent amount of them. I've graded. I have some Pikachus on my... Maybe they sold out. I think my Pikachus might have sold out, but I probably have more raw. Any strategy for Black Friday or just business as usual? My strategy is to discount my whole eBay 10 to 25%, and I hope to sell. I'm not trying to buy anything. I have too much of everything already, so I'm not trying to buy anything whatsoever. I just bought the other day. I bought a new dishwasher because my dishwasher is 15 years old and it barely works. Maybe it's... I don't know if they put the dishwasher in right when they moved in, but they probably did. So my dishwasher might be like 19 years old, 18 years old, which is crazy old for a dishwasher, and it barely works. Like it's rough. You have to press the button like 20 times for it to start. So I fixed the dishwasher twice. One time I had to put in a new gasket. One time I had to it leaked. Like I didn't have to put in any pump or anything, but I had to put it in a gasket and an O-ring to stop the leaking, which was annoying. But it's time for a new one. And then when we moved in, we put in a new fridge, and over the stovetop we have a microwave that's also a vent. So we did those new when we moved in. So the stove is original, and well, the range is original stove oven combo, and the dishwasher. So I wasn't gonna replace the dishwasher and then not do the range. So I did the dishwasher and range. Like I ordered them like a week ago, and I think they're delivering in a week or two. All that talk about fixing HVAC, and you just gave up on your dishwasher. The biggest thing, what I try to do when I buy appliances, I try to buy the least bells and whistles possible. I think the issues going on with the dishwasher, it's not like a mechanical part. It's not the pump. It's not. It's not. Well, the racking is kind of screwed up. The racking kind of falls off the one side. So some of it is mechanical, but on top of that, it's like it's like electrical. If it gets into electrical type stuff, that said, I fixed the TV before by soldering off capacitors that were bulged and soldering on new capacitors. So I've gotten into a little bit of electrical stuff, but when you get into like the brain of the dishwasher, I probably would have to buy a new panel. So like the actual brain of the dishwasher with all the buttons, all that would probably be a few $100s. Instead of that, if it's a $50 pump, absolutely put a $50 pump in it. If it's a $200-$300 control board and it's 15 years old, replace it. That's where I'm at. So I appreciate the call out though. I appreciate you got to push back, right? You got to push back. What's better, 10 to 20% off for this weekend or 10 to 20% promotion rate? Honestly, it's usually not 1 or 0, right? It's usually not black or white. It's usually gray. The optimal thing, depending on the item, is probably like 5% promotion with a 15% discount. Or some combination of that. It's probably a blend. Dan's dishwasher needs a brain transplant, huh? Yeah, control board. I said brain, but what I meant by that was like the actual computer, the actual like control board of the equipment. Whether it's a dishwasher, whether it's I know years ago my grandparents had a fancy like Samsung washer and dryer, and throwing all these different error codes, and they were under warranty. The repair was supposedly like $700 or whatever it was, and it was under warranty, so it got done. But the next time that broke, it's like anytime anything breaks on some of these fancy, I sound like a really old crusty old man here, but these newfangled electronics, they're just made to be disposable. My washer and dryer are Speed Queens. They're like commercial, they're like light commercial grade, but no bells and whistles. It's literally just a knob. It's a timed knob. You push in, you turn to the cycle you want, you pull it out. And inside of it, there are switches and there's solenoids, and they're like all super basic stuff. It is all very logical to follow it and track. Like you troubleshoot, well, XYZ's happening, do this. Yeah, cars, like so many of these things are just like cell phones these days. They're just disposable. You can't go inside and do anything in them. I mean, my screen is cracked. I could probably replace the screen, but they make it harder and harder to repair stuff, and a lot of stuff is just made that, oh, it lasts 10 years and then once it breaks you throw it away. But I try to, where possible, I try to buy something that's as simple as possible. So shout out Speed Queen. If any appliance manufacturer wanted to sponsor me, I would lean towards Speed Queen heavily. Very, very intuitive user manuals, and very, very intuitive. You pop a cover off and you see all the guts, you see everything there. There's a motor to drive it. There's a belt. There's a couple high temp switches. There's a couple low temp switches. Same thing as the furnace. Like the furnace, there's a control board, but then it's pressure switches. You can look at it, and if you have a little bit of technical savvy, you can just logic through everything that goes on. When you've got a dishwasher that has the sensor cycle when you've got all these washers and dryers that have the super fancy. I just want dry. I want clean clothes, and then I want dry clothes. I don't want all these fancy bells and whistles that just lead to problems down the line. But I guess we're ending tonight with a 5-10 minute appliance rant. I have a phone case. But so I dropped it. If I dropped it straight on concrete, it would hit the case and not the screen. I dropped it on my lawnmower. I was fixing my belt issue on my lawnmower, and it hit a piece of metal. So a piece of metal that was sticking up, like the tip of a bolt on my mower deck, hit perfectly on that. So it broke the screen. Is what it is. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it. I end it with that nice appliance rant. I hope everyone has an amazing Thanksgiving tomorrow. I hope, like me, I'm the guy bringing it, but I hope, like my Thanksgivings that I'm going to, you will have an awesome person that brings some brisket or some pork belly burnt ends, because I'm going to have those at my Thanksgivings. I hope not everyone is just trapped to only turkey. But yeah, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. I will catch you all later.